Okay, cool. Are you recording?
Yeah. Well, I just know you're gonna have to accept it.
I hate. Okay. Fuck.
Do what you need to do first.
No, this is very important. Clearly. Oh, snap.
What?
That's so cool. I don't know.
Why is the daycare parent texting me? Oh.
I don't know how to save this.
Just like right click and say save as.
Okay, so that's the confusing thing about this. It doesn't let you right click. It's like a one clicker.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Don't you have to like
I have a smart keyboard thing yet.
Control S? No, that would save the whole page. I think you have to use 2 fingers and double tap.
It's really not that important. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
That's awkward.
You're fine. I'm not even looking at you. Right click on the image, but how do you right click?
Oh, stop. Oh my god, I'm starting so many pages. I have like a smart bar.
You press and control. It says control click. Press and hold the control key while you click an item. Did you get it?
Yes.
I don't know.
There we go.
As much as I love Macs, that's why I don't have a Mac anymore.
Add image to photos. Tight. Oh, shit. Oh. This is so cool.
Cool.
Let's get down to business.
Thank you. I was going to say you need to fix that.
Put my laptop all the way up top. Okay, let's try again.
Does your
at the same time?
does my sound like how it should sound for us?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so does yours. I'm so
Does it? Okay.
happy.
I thought that was a burp coming. I was like, damn. Calm down, Amy.
I'm so excited.
And I just can't hide it. And I'm about to lose control. And I think I like it.
Dun, 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 dun. Did you figure it out?
Fuck no. It's fine.
No, go to the arrow that I said.
Yeah, I'm there.
Choose virtual background.
Mhm.
And then you're going to see where it says like none, blur, Golden Gate Bridge, grass. Right above the grass, it said there's a little plus sign and click add image or video. And you click that, and then you're going to click add image, and it should bring up like your downloads or something. And you pick it from there.
Definitely didn't do what you just said, but I'm downloading a package.
What?
I didn't mean to. It was an accident. Can I go first?
Yeah.
Okay, because you kind of took my spotlight last weekend. Actually, that's not true. I had all the spotlight last weekend.
You sure did, but I know, I think it really just added flair.
It did. A little umph.
A little oomph.
Floor. Little floor. Is that how you pronounce that?
Florence?
Florence.
Fluorescent lights. Fluorescent lights.
That didn't do anything.
I don't know what to tell you, bud.
That's okay. Okay,
Where'd
well, that's
she
better than
go?
nothing.
You're gone now.
I'm gone.
Yeah. You stopped sharing your video.
Oh, fudge. How?
I don't know. You probably turned it off.
Can you see me now?
No. Oh my God.
Oh, I see it. How did I
Okay.
do
There.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
That works.
Look at you.
Look at me.
Hey, Mom, I made it. Hey, Mom, I made. We sing a lot on this podcast.
That's okay.
That's a good thing.
I just don't want anybody to see my messy house.
Your house isn't messy, first off. And at least you're not in a closet.
You're not in a closet.
No, but I listened to a podcast where they did record in a closet.
Did they come out of the closet eventually?
Yeah, because they didn't belong in the closet.
I need to turn up my.
Go to 4.
Who?
Go to 4 on your.
Oh, on the mic.
Yeah.
No, I was talking about my headphones.
Oh. Did you hear me burp?
I did.
Ew, that was
Thank
gross. You're welcome.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Preach. As my sister says.
Appreciate. Sorry, Leon. I want you to be in. Sorry, I want you to be in the video.
I just want you to be here, Leon.
I took him from the living room, and Alice was like, "Mom, why can't he just skip this week?"
Sorry, like, Alice.
He's the star of the show.
Right? People come to see him.
They come to see him.
They don't come to see us.
No, they don't care about us. What are you doing?
I'm trying to turn up my damn. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Why is it so quiet? It's fine. That's fine. Oh, wait. I bet there's something on the headphones. I'm a ding dong.
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
Maybe I'm just deaf. Oh no, I don't want Apple Music. No, get out. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Sorry, Leon.
Okay.
Did you see me do that?
I didn't. The stupid computer is like possessed. You're not stupid. I'm sorry.
She loves you very much.
I do. I've waited for you for quite some time now. Not that long. Okay. All right. Fuck it.
She's got it.
Full screen. Cool dog. All right. Ugh. Look at my back up here.
She's falling.
It's stupid. It's a blurred background. It's not even one of the cool backgrounds.
You're fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's cool.
She's fine, everyone.
I wanted the office background.
Oh.
Yeah, it was the interview with the blinds. It's fine. It's fine.
Do you want me to go down there and do it for you?
No, it's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
dumb.
All right.
You're very, very kind, but no, I'm good. How are you today?
It's been a rougher day for us today. Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. Alice is on the struggle bus, not in a like she won't cooperate with me. It's she wants friends and no one wants to play. Not no one wants to play with her. It's a school night. So she's
Aw,
she wants to be distracted, but
she's welcome to come over anytime. But
yeah.
my kids are a lot younger than her.
We are on Zoom this week.
We are. Because I've been exposed
to
the Rona. My Corona.
No,
I'm not sick though.
No, they tested negative, but to be
Yep.
safe, we're staying safe.
Better be safe than sorry.
Yeah, and I don't like being sorry. So
Me neither.
Yeah,
me neither.
Hate apologizing.
It's dumb.
Hey, this is our podcast.
Hey, this is episode 6.
Episode 6. What's with the neighbors?
What's with the neighbors? Oh my gosh. I didn't prepare a neighborhood story, but I think I got one right here on my phone.
Oh my. So this is our podcast, What's with the Neighbor? True crime and paranormal.
With a dash of neighborhood drama.
With a dash. We all need like a little razzle dazzle of neighborhood drama.
Exactly.
Everyone loves drama. No matter if you say you don't like drama, you like drama. Don't tell me you don't like drama. So everyone likes other people's drama. So
I like other people's drama.
Yeah, exactly. So
as long as it's not mine.
Yeah, if it's I don't even like dealing with my own drama. I just kind of like brush it under the rug and
just like whatever.
Yeah,
we're just gonna pretend like this didn't happen.
Exactly. Yeah. So how was your week this week? Besides being quarantined,
my children are sick, but luckily not with the Rona. Lots of fevers, but it's been an interesting week. A lot of crying, not from me.
Don't lie, it was from you too.
It's me in the closet.
Nothing's worse than being told you have to stay home and you can't leave with your children.
You can't freaking I'm already at this job 24/7.
Yeah.
Like, come on now.
And then,
at least let me go to the store.
I want to go to the store. I would be okay if someone said you have to stay home for 2 weeks or whatever. But if they told me that with my child, which I've done many times, I'm like, oh,
dang it.
Really?
Like, my kids are cool. But
Oh yeah. But they're not
that cool.
Yeah, we just want a break sometimes.
And sometimes I like to be by myself sometimes.
Well, I mean, even if you have to take them everywhere with you, like that car ride, like you turn on your podcast or you turn on music and you pretend like they're not in the car for that 10 minutes.
Oh, Charlotte falls asleep whenever I turn on podcasts.
Oh, it's so nice. It's blissful.
Blissful. I like that word.
Yeah.
It's blissful.
It's blissful.
Fall asleep. It's blissful.
Back to you, Bri.
Back to me. I do look like a news reporter right now. I'm looking for a neighborhood story.
I have one ready.
Oh, you want to go first?
Yeah.
Well, why the
And while I'm
first
telling my
one
story, you can find one.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I have a really great one. Go away. So this is from, I didn't realize this. This is from Alaskan biologist.
Ooh.
Yeah. So when I was 10 or so, an old lady was nasty to my brother and I for sitting on the curb. So we got the bright idea to have an estate sale for her. That is so mean. We got up at like 4 a.m. on Saturday morning and put up homemade cardboard garage sale signs with her address on them and early birds are welcome in bold letters. We then sat on the curb a little down the street across from her house and watched people bang on the door for an hour or so.
Oh my gosh. That's so mean.
The best part is we didn't put up a date or on the sign. So if she didn't find all the signs, presumably people would keep showing up every Saturday. Okay.
Hey, why didn't they take down the signs themselves?
Well, that was the whole prank, was to not to just
I would have taken them down.
That is genius, hilarious, and a little over the top, and dedication. That is dedication.
Absolutely.
Waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning to prank somebody. For some, I mean, there's a lot of people I despise, but man, I don't know.
This gives me so many ideas. So many ideas.
For what, Bri?
I don't know.
For what, Bri?
I don't know, but I know I have to wake up really early tomorrow morning.
Why?
I don't know.
For what, Bri? Bri, for what?
I don't know, Amy.
Bri, for what?
I have some things that I have to do. Some very important things now added to my list. Like making signs.
For what, Bri?
I don't know. What did you do whenever there was something found on the back of my car, Amy?
I have cameras.
I have cameras as well, which I caught you guys. Like, the corner of the camera caught you. But since we have a giant trailer in the yard, nope.
Okay.
Just be prepared.
Noted. I didn't realize
you can hear me fine, right?
Yeah.
Because I can't hear myself.
No,
oh shit.
You're not gonna be able. No, don't touch it. You're fine.
It says headphones.
Don't touch it. You are fine. I promise.
Yours says microphone.
I know, but you sound great. Don't touch it.
All right.
Please don't touch it.
All right, bud. Heard you, bud.
I saw it switch a while ago, and I don't want to mess with it because
I think it more so just bothers me.
I think it's more of like I mean, you could try switching it.
You said not to.
I think it's just a matter of like if it's green, that's just you can adjust the mic volume. If it's orange, you can adjust the. I wouldn't touch it if I were you.
Okay. All right.
Sounds great. Last time we touched mine,
Bob,
it got messed up.
Truth that. I can't hear myself talk, so like I don't know.
Take one headphone out.
Am I allowed to do that?
Yeah, I have one out.
Oh, I can hear you still.
Yeah,
that makes it so much easier. I just lick my finger.
Yeah.
Do you lick your fingers to change your papers?
No.
I do that.
You're a disgusting human being.
Probably.
You're patient zero
this
right
is
here.
How I thought I was sick. How I've avoided this? How many times? I don't know.
I don't know, bud. I'm proud of you though.
Thanks.
It is a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
You want to tell me a
So
story?
I have a story prepared for you, and it's one of my shorter ones, but
Oh, good,
it's
because mine's 10 pages long.
mine is 5, but I still feel like it's a really long and heavy story because normally I put bullets in mine, and that's why it makes it so long. It's not, there's no bullets at all,
Okay.
but I feel like it's gonna be really heavy. So
Okay.
prepare yourself.
Be prepared.
Yeah, we always sing this. Whatever. All right. So this week last week I did a story about aliens, so I figured I'd do something else other than ghosts, and I did something still kind of ghosty, but it's possession. So yeah, it's a heavy one. Um
Okay.
and
I had a hard time sleeping last night, so I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited to
I've had
not
a hard time sleeping listening to the audio of this, so because there's still audio out of this case. So it's a very famous case. It's actually what the movie Exorcism of Emily Rose is based on. So it was like,
Yay, I thought we put down guidelines.
what guidelines?
Don't scare me.
Oh, oh, okay, that's fine. You know, I told you earlier how I don't like to break rules. That's not one that I don't care if I break that one. It's fine.
Yay, I'm so it's nice to know
You're-
you care about me.
It's fine. It's fine. It keep you busy.
I'm fine.
You're fine. Everything's fine. So, this is about the exorcism of Annalise Michel.
Okay.
Um, she was born in 1952 in a small German town of Klingenberg. I'm probably going to butcher a lot of stuff in this, so it's German. Her family and friends described her as likable, bright, and very religious. Her family brought her up very strict, devout Catholic, and like she attended mass twice a week. Super strict. And she wanted to become a teacher one day of like catechism. So she wanted to be like a Catholic teacher to teach like the rites and stuff like that. So
Okay.
good girl. Um, I'm just gonna open it all up right now.
Okay.
So it all started in 1968. It was not long after she turned 16. She blacked out at school. She said she had felt dazed, and everyone had said she was in like a trance-like state.
What?
She didn't recall any of it. That same night, she woke up feeling paralyzed, and she was terrified, and she lost control of her bladder. She felt like something was squeezing it.
Ew.
And so she wet the bed. They kind of brushed that off. I don't know how you brush that off, but they kind of brushed it off.
Oh, you're
and
fine. You
then,
just drank too much
yeah,
water. This
it's fine.
yeah.
It's fine. It's cool. It happened. In 1969, she experienced a similar episode of which was temporarily blacking out and feeling the feeling of being paralyzed in her bed at night. So at that point, her mother wanted to take her into the doctor and get her checked out. So she was seen by her family doctor. Hello, Leon.
He's getting spooked.
I miss him. I miss you, baby.
He misses you too.
Baby. So her mother took her to the doctor, had her checked out by the family doctor and also a neurologist where they did like an EEG and a brain scan, and didn't see any abnormalities. So they said it was likely a seizure, but since they were so far apart, they didn't put her on any meds, which is just typical. Like
Okay. Yeah.
I know someone who had a suspected seizure and everything looked fine. They looked like a perfectly healthy person and they didn't put any meds on them just because there had been no record of them or anything.
Right. It could have been what is it? The
Grandma?
fevers. Yeah.
Grandma. I think that's what it was. I believe that's what they said it was like a grandma seizure.
Yeah.
So not long after that, Annalise began to suffer from other health issues, like pleurisy, pneumonia, so bad that they had to hospitalize her in 1970 or January of 1970. And from there, she was moved to a clinic that specialized in lung disease for like people her age.
What the heck?
I know, she was a sick little girl. While in the clinic, she experienced another seizure or episode, which led her to be reevaluated, and they placed her on anticonvulsant meds. She told the doctor that she was having demonic visions while performing her daily prayer, as well as smelling an odor that she described as burning feces.
What the? Ew!
Yeah, I don't know how anyone knows what that smells like, but it's gross. I feel like some bird poop in here. Did somebody light a poop on fire?
Someone's been pranked before by the neighbor boys.
Right? With a bag, with a bag of poop. It's a poop again. What Billy Madison movie was that? Billy Madison. It was Billy Madison.
Yeah.
So she was so afraid that it made her not want to pray, in fear that the demon would return. I would too. And she began to wonder if she actually had a demon inside of her and contemplated suicide. So she was placed on medications for hallucinations and dark thoughts, which were commonly used for schizophrenia. They blamed this all on her medical state. And in
baby.
August, I know, I say it's heavy because it's sad.
It's really sad.
The whole story is really sad. It's terrifying, but it's sad.
Yeah.
In August of 1970, she returned home and she was not the same. She was depressed, withdrawn, and she was getting average grades in school when she was normally like really good in school.
Right.
She began to hear knocking in her room, as well as voices damning her to rotten hell.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. She experienced another episode of blacking out and her body becoming rigid, which is what they typically narrowed down to a seizure. So the episodes became more frequent, and she continued to see demonic faces and continued to smell the terrible odor. There was one incident where one night over dinner, her hands reportedly swelled up to a huge size. She said, "I have black hands. My savior, forgive me." And around that time, she could see a devil-like face on the wall, and she described it as having 7 crowns and 7 horns.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
I
getting
know.
chills.
I know. I hate these
hate
kinds of
that.
things. Another incident that had happened was her mother caught her staring at a Virgin Mary statue that they had in their home. And her eyes went very dark black, and her hands looked like paws with claws. Yeah.
That's what her mom said?
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Nope.
One day, Annalise
Nope.
went to San Domino with a family friend on a Christian pilgrimage. The family friend suspected that she was suffering from demonic possession because she was unable to walk past a crucifix and refused to drink the water from the Christian holy spring.
Oh no.
During this, Annalise had said she was unable to enter the shrine. And when she approached it, she said that her feet were burning like fire and she couldn't stand it. And yeah, she started to develop an aversion for holy objects, so like crosses and whatnot, and quit going to church. She was hardly able to walk and began suffering episodes where her body contorted in unnatural ways.
What the heck?
Yeah. The horrible burning feces smell got even worse and began to linger. And they started to see that she was obviously not showing any improvement from all the meds that she was on. So her parents and her feared that she was possessed. So they wanted to seek help from the church. And in autumn of 1973, Father Alt met and spoke with Annalise. He approached the situation with lots of doubt, saying she's baptized, she's not possessed.
What?
But he heard her out. He was empathetic over her, and everything that he had heard and talked to her about, he was like, there's evil surrounding this girl. And so he wrote to the bishop, because whenever, I don't know if you know about Catholics and possession, but you have to get like permission to do like an exorcism and stuff. You have to write to like the bishop. The bishop's like, I can't remember. I think he watches, like, the bishop is basically like the guy who's in charge of all the priests like in the area, like
Oh, yeah.
districts,
Yeah.
kind of like, I don't know. So he wrote to the bishop requesting to perform an exorcism, but he was denied. And he was denied because around this time the movie The Exorcist came out, and so there were like a lot of false claims about being possessed, so they were trying to lean more towards like medicine and
Okay.
like psychiatric and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the bishop wanted her to seek further medical treatment, to see if there'd be anything that would help. And between then, Father Alt and Father Roth were actually asked by her parents to come see her again. And when they arrived, they found Annalise hysterical. Father Alt mentally demanded, and he said, depart from her and say who you are. And so then Annalise then grabbed the rosary from her neck and destroyed it.
And
With
he
that
was just saying
happening-
that in his head.
Yeah. And with that happening, that's I guess that's like a really, really bad sign, saying that the demon could be very powerful, because they're not supposed to be able to touch holy relics.
Right.
So the fact that she touched the rosary means that something was powerful in her.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I'm trying to see where I'm at. It was reported that Annalise would go into fits and rages, and she would attack, curse, and growl. Again, the awful stench was getting worse. Other people were definitely smelling it.
Oh,
I know. Father Alt wrote the bishop Stengel again, saying that he was convinced that this was not caused by her epilepsy, and to let them perform an exorcism. So
Right.
finally in 1975, the bishop wrote him back, granting the permission to perform an exorcism, but to do so in secret.
What year again was this?
This part of it, this was over the course of like from 1973 to like 1976, I want to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's over several years.
Okay.
She was 16 when it started, and then 23 whenever it stopped.
Jeez.
So finally in 1975, he wrote back, said to do it in secret. And he also wanted someone else to perform the exorcism, and Father Alt to kind of be there as like a helper. The person who he picked, Father Arnold Renz, hadn't even done exorcisms before, which it didn't say if Father Alt had done them either. But exorcisms
Did the
are so
bishop pick
rare.
it, or was it the?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he
okay.
basically assigned Father Arnold Renz to perform or be the leader of the exorcism. So
Okay.
I guess he was really not knowledgeable in this subject, but I guess since they were so rare, I guess it's hard to find someone who's like, oh yeah, I've done an exorcism. I'm a priest. Every priest is certified in exorcisms. So he said for them to perform the Ritual Romanum of 1614.
You said that correctly.
Like, probably I hope I didn't. It was like the go-to Catholic exorcism, and it's been around since 1614. That's the one that they used. It changed in like the 90s, I guess. In 1975, the first of 67 exorcisms was performed.
Holy crap.
42 of them were recorded, and some of them could take up to 4 hours long.
Jeez, that poor
Yeah,
girl.
I know. Throughout the process, 6 demons revealed themselves.
You.
The 6 being, the 6 being I know, it makes you feel dirty.
Sorry,
Judas, Nero, Cain, Fleshman, Hitler, and Lucifer.
Hitler.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I know you said Lucifer, but I'm more like,
I know. Well, according to paranormal experts, these names didn't necessarily mean that they were the actual people. They could have just been like a scare tactic, to put fear in her.
still don't like it.
But there's like, I don't think I even put it in here, but there's points where like the demons, you'll hear them like argue with each other, and they say like Hitler is a pig head or airhead or something like that, and he doesn't have a place in hell and all this other stuff. So I guess because he's like a big mouth and whatever.
I hate all of this. Thank you.
So the Fleshman guy isn't in the Bible, but after some searching and digging, Father Alt found that the demon Fleshman was actually a priest in the 16th century who'd done some very unpriestly things like murdering and cheating and just bad things.
Ew.
And to confirm this, he spoke to this demon, and details of the priest's past were given to him that actually matched the documents that he found. And Annalise wouldn't know that because it was in the 16th century. Like,
right.
So she called him the Black One.
Honey.
Annalise would often speak in tongues and attacked family members with inhuman strength. She bucked around like a goat, screaming, barked
Ew.
like a dog, bit the head off of a dead bird,
Oh.
and ate insects and coal for a few days. Yeah. Just wait. This is the worst part, and I'm so sorry if I make you gag. I really am sorry because it grosses me out as well, and I hate that I have to say it. She would often urinate on the floor and then lick it up. And then she would also be found chewing on urine-soaked panties. Sorry.
Yep. It's okay. I'm fine.
Okay, let me skip to the next part. It was also said that large masses of flies would suddenly gather and vanish out of rooms. So like they appear and disappear. The flies or the other thing?
Both.
Okay. I'm sorry. She was covered in head to toe with bruises. Are you good? Do you need to stop?
I'm fine. No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I was drying my eyes.
Oh, okay. Are you crying? It's okay. I actually teared up in this one.
The bruise thing, that's awful.
Yeah, she was covered in head to toe with bruises from being thrown around and knocked into walls by unseen forces, and many of her teeth were chipped.
Oh, jeez.
She would tell the priest, Father Rinson Alt, that she would see demons dancing in the room, mocking them. But despite all of this, she continued to fight. She would genuflect like hundreds of times a day. So much that she would like her kneecaps were broken and she would like rip tendons. So she was a fighter.
So clearly she would be in like her right mind at some points.
At points, yeah. But like from what I read, it was the most like they would come out was during the exorcisms. So
right.
I mean,
that
they
makes
would
sense.
come out in between, but like, yeah. And yeah, it's sad.
Jeez.
One night, Annalise had a vision that the Virgin Mary came to see her and took a walk with her.
Oh, okay.
Mary had told her that it pains her that so many souls are going to hell and that someone needs to make penance.
Well, it can't be
So
her.
she asked if Annalise would be that person.
Let's pick someone else.
Right? I know. And so she said, if she had did this, she would give her 3 days of peace to decide, and she would expel the demons from her. So regardless of her expelling the demons or not, Annalise still wanted to do it just because, I mean, she was very religious and she believed that the Virgin Mary or Mary meant
Asked her
well
to do
behind it. So,
something.
yeah, exactly. So she wanted to do it for her. And even though her parents didn't agree with it.
That makes
Which
sense.
I wouldn't want that either.
Right.
So by the third day, she'd made her decision and she was going to do it. Sorry. On June 30th, which was the third day, the demons seemed weak. So the priest took advantage and performed the 67th and last exorcism. They prepared for Mother Mary to come and take them away. And they announced that the demons had to leave by order of Mary. The demons cried out in pain, and as they cried out in pain as the priest said the Hail Mary.
Right.
And Annalise let out a chilling scream as they ordered each demon out one by one. Once finished, the priests were convinced it had worked. So Annalise felt relieved and turned to her mother, saying she was finally free and how wonderful it felt.
Oh, good.
So not long after, all six demons returned, saying that they didn't want to be there, but they weren't allowed to leave.
Says who? Just go. You don't need to be there.
There's a I can't remember the exact theory, but there is a theory behind it. So that night on July, I forgot to say, Mother Mary said that something big would happen on July 1st.
Oh, okay.
So this was June 30th that this all happened.
Oh.
And that night, when July 1st hit, Annalise closed her eyes for the last time and passed away.
She just died?
Yeah, I mean, she was beat to hell. She was 23 years old. So it happened from 16 to 23. And she was weighing at only 68 pounds.
Oh, no wonder she died.
Yeah. The family doctor came to examine her, and by the looks of her body and her condition, he said that her death was not by natural causes, but by starvation and malnutrition.
Yeah.
This case became known all around the world, and many, in fact, did not believe it was possible that she could be possessed, which that's really hard for people to believe anytime. Like,
yeah.
that's a
it's a big scary thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So it went under investigation. In 1978, the case was brought to court because they believed that her death could have been prevented. The defense used eyewitnesses and audio recordings as proof of her possession, which is like the first time that's like ever happened.
That's really sad for for her parents to have to
I
go
know.
through.
I mean, even for the priest, they weren't trying to do something wrong.
Right.
So Father Rentz and Father Alt were sentenced to prison for negligent manslaughter for 6 months and a 3-year priest suspension, which they dropped that. Yeah, it's messed up.
Give me a second.
As for her parents, yep.
Huh? Right now? Come here. I need a paper towel.
Dude, pull it out.
Bring me scissors too. I need to cut Leon's little
What are you doing to us? Poor baby.
She never asks me to pull out her teeth.
Do it. It could be good and bloody for the podcast. Viewer discretion advised.
All right.
GG.
GG. Oh, does she not like blood?
Oh, she doesn't care.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just saying she's the only one who's watching.
Only sponsor. He's got
What?
2. She's our only. I said sponsor, but Patreon.
So, join up, guys.
There was no little scissors. They weren't for you. They're for Leon. Let me see. Give me your head.
Do you get
it? There. No.
Twist it.
I'm trying, but she stopped me. Come on, I don't have time.
Just grab it, Alice, and twist it. I want to see this happen. Do this for me, please.
Yeah, do it right here. Okay. All right, you keep telling your story.
So I literally have one more sentence.
Okay.
So Father Rentz and Alt were sentenced for negligent manslaughter for 6 months in jail, and they had a 3-year pre-suspension, which they dropped. Her parents were spared any punishment because they had suffered enough as defined by German law. So that's the end.
But couldn't they just those poor priests?
Oh yeah, poor priest. I mean, it was only 6 months, but yeah, they didn't actually have to be suspended for 3 years though.
Yeah.
They were just doing their job.
That really sucks. That's really crappy that they had to go through that.
There's a ton of, so you guys, if you wanted to look up any videos on YouTube or audio recordings, there's a ton of different audio recordings on
you want to go outside
the exorcism of Annalise Michael.
On the exorcism of Annalise
Michael. Or you could probably look up the exorcism of Emily Rose, the real thing. But they're scary. They're terrifying because it's this 20-something-year-old girl belting out these voices that are not
hers.
A little girl's voice.
Let me get it. Come here. It's gonna hurt for just a second and then it'll stop hurting.
Yeah. Please do it for me, Alice.
Bri said, "Do it for me, Alice."
I'll give you $1 along with the tooth fairy.
She said she'll give you $1 on top of what the tooth fairy gives you. Come here. Come here. It'll hurt for a second and then it will go away.
Is it really that loose?
It's hanging on by a thread.
Oh, get it out, girl.
Here, you have to go in front of the camera.
Get it out. Oh, man. I don't know. It's not that loose. Can you twist it?
Can you twist it? It's like sideways.
Can you twist it backward? If you could twist it backwards, then
twist it backwards.
I would freak out when I would do that because it would get, I would be like, it's stuck like that. My teeth's going to be like that forever.
I know.
Why am I lisping?
Because you lisp after you lose a tooth.
But I was naturally doing it. This is why I'm lisping. It blurs it out.
Do you want to close the store and sit over there and work on it? Okay. I got to tell my story, so.
Let us know when you've gotten it out.
Yeah, let us know when you're going to. Can I go pee real quick?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, anytime.
Anytime you need to go. How's it going, Alice? You can't hear me. I'm just talking to myself. Yeah. Put the headphones in.
Hi,
What's up? Hey, Alice.
Hi.
What's on your shirt?
Mm.
Change the world. Cool. Sick. Did you get it out yet?
No. It hurts.
Well, it won't hurt if you pull it out. It'll be better. It won't hurt anymore.
I have to like go up to talk.
Because you're short.
You're short too.
I am short. Do you know that on October 21st is National Throw a Short Person Day?
I'm short.
I am too. Anybody under the height of 5'4" can be thrown.
Bye.
Goodbye.
In or out? We're not doing this tonight.
She's yelling at Rainbow,
To
guys.
you. Okay.
Were you yelling at Rainbow?
Yeah, I was yelling at
Okay.
Rainbow.
I clarified that because I was like, oh, people are gonna think that she's yelling at her kid like that. You have so many people watching us.
I'll probably take it out.
Do whatever you want.
In and out. All right. Are you ready for my story?
I thought you said I get to choose.
I didn't finish the other one.
Lame.
You're ready to go too soon.
Oh, I was ready to go whenever. I meant that, like, if you were ready to go, I didn't want you to be waiting for me.
Oh, can you see
Why
my
is everybody taking
background?
pictures of you?
I'm famous, baby.
Hey,
Are you ready? Can you hear it?
Briefly. You're so famous. Oh my god, I love you. Oh my god, she's so famous. It's Amy. Oh my god. Ah.
Okay, so this is the story of the Chippendale murders.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
No.
So I am on
Who
stage.
would murder Chippendale? I love how her head just keeps on popping in it, or an
Yes.
arm just pops in out of nowhere.
You can't do that, okay?
It's like a ghost.
Please stop. Thank you. So if you're gonna be in here, go sit down. Don't make noise like that. Go. Okay, fine. So this is the story of the Chippendale murders.
All right.
Take it off, baby.
So Soman Banerjee, which he later changed his name to Steve Banerjee.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes 100% sense.
So much better. When I was first reading this, I
Thank
was
you,
like,
Soman. Energy.
I was like,
Energy.
Banerjee. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to say that name. And then
Steve.
after I did all this research and stuff, and then I watched a documentary on it. I was like, everyone kept calling him Steve, and I was like, oh, thank goodness.
But also, like, you pick Steve. Is that like your stage name? Steve.
Well, okay,
and
so
next
he was
up is Steve. Watch him rip off his pants.
my dad's name is Steve.
My dad's
So-
name is Steve.
Oh, that's right.
Oh shit. Sorry, Dad.
What? No, you need to go sit down. We're not doing this right now. Okay, so Steve Banerjee founded Chippendales in 1979 in Los Angeles. In an older interview.
Thank you, Steve. Let's just take a moment of silence and thank Steve for this. Okay. All right.
Oh.
Thank you, Steve.
Boom, boom, boom. Boom. So in an older interview, he was asked if
I'm so sorry. Why do you think I would want to make a decision between this story and another one?
Because the other one's really good too.
but I definitely, probably, possibly would have chose this one. Don't tell me what the other one is. I'll
I'm
find out
not
tomorrow.
going to.
Okay. All right.
You're not going to
proceed.
find out
I apologize.
tomorrow. I'm not
Oh,
doing
yeah.
anything tomorrow.
No, never. It's weird.
Oh, we're going to be. Oh, anyways. Okay. So,
I'm so sorry.
in an older interview, he was asked if Chippendales was a fad. They're like, well, isn't it just like a fad? And he's like, I've never known for less to be a fad.
Wow.
He ain't wrong. He
Nope.
ain't wrong.
No, that was very ballsy of him to say that, though.
I know. So, he grew up and he was born and raised in India, and he grew up, moved to LA. He's like, I want that American life, y'all. He taught himself English and worked as a janitor. And after borrowing money from a friend, he opened up a franchise of gas stations, Exxon gas stations. But he wanted more. He needed more. I would like to ask you who you think his two role models were in life.
What year is this?
1979 is when he founded Chippendales.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to go with the guy who Marky Mark played in Boogie Nights, and George Washington.
1979.
I think Boogie Nights came out in the 70s, didn't it?
George Washington.
Yeah, George Washington was alive and dead by then. You said role models, right?
Yeah.
A role model can be someone who's dead.
Okay, I was just curious. I was thinking like someone.
Am I right? Is it George Washington?
Oh my god! Yeah. How did you know him and Abraham Lincoln?
Dude. Okay, so I got the first one right.
No, his two role models were Hugh Hefner and Walt Disney.
That's kind of steered the other direction.
Yeah. So, so those were his two big role models. He wanted the fancy cars, the big money, and the woman.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I want all that.
Yeah.
Minus the woman.
Hold on, I have to close the door.
You good, dog?
You're literally the worst thing I've ever met.
Again, talking about the cat, Rainbow.
It was Rainbow. Yes. Okay. Oh, now she wants out again. I can't. Okay.
I like your shirt.
Thank you. Shoots bombs.
I got my sweatshirt that says that. I should have wore that if I would have
What
known.
is candy corn? What is your shirt?
Candy corn, pumpkins, witches, hocus pocus, black cats, and full moons.
Oh, black cats are my favorite cats.
I love black cats. Leon is my favorite cat.
Leon's my first cat I've ever had that's not black.
Oh wow. That's weird.
I've always had black cats.
What about Simba?
Oh, I forgot about her.
She's evil.
Yeah, she was awful. I don't count her. Anyways, so he wanted the big cars, fancy money, and women.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, right. He purchased a nightclub and called it Destiny 2. Did you want to know if there was a Destiny 1? There wasn't. But
Destiny 2 what? Destiny the number 2 or Destiny
like the number
T-O?
2? But he wanted people to think like there is a Destiny 1 and there's
that is brilliant. That is super okay. That's a smart guy.
Bold move. But it was kind of dumpy and not super popular. He did have to compete with a lot of other big clubs in LA. So in order to try to get people to come in, he tried a bunch of different themed nights like cowboy night, magician night, He even had women's mud wrestling, which one of the former employees complained about. They're like, this is really dirty and awful, and we hate having to clean up after, which
Okay, I
I
yeah.
can't I can't not agree
It
with.
sounds like fun though. It does sound like fun, but yes,
Yeah.
it sounds like a terrible cleanup.
I mean, he even had dance lessons. Like, he was trying to do anything to get people to come. He would throw it at the wall and see if it stuck, sort of thing. But nothing really worked. So they did a rebranding, and they bought a bunch of knockoff Chippendale furniture in, which that's what he decided to name the club after, which is Chippendale. And
Chippendale furniture.
yeah, it's a fancy high-end furniture brand. But he didn't bring it was their old knockoffs, but he wanted like this fancy club that people would be like, ooh, swinky. And that's when he met Paul Snyder. Paul was a club promoter and decided to suggested to Steve that he should have male strippers. But the only catch was that Paul was going to have to be the MC. Which an MC, I didn't know what an MC is. Do you know what an MC is?
I would guess that it'd be like the main guy.
Yeah, the main guy, like the host. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had no idea.
Like Matthew McConaughey in Chippendales.
Oh, duh.
Or not Chippendales, Magic Mike.
Magic, yes. Yeah. Okay. So they hit the beaches, the fitness clubs, the clubs. They went everywhere looking for these guys, and like would ask them, hey, do you want to strip at a club tonight? You'll get paid, like whatever you get paid. And so that's how they found most of their first strippers. In the first night, they had over 600 women show up.
Oh, you found it, buddy.
Yeah, it stuck. So obviously it was a hot topic.
You gotta take that out.
I'm not.
Oh
So it was obviously a hot topic. The publicity instantly grew. They had stars show up. They had even frequent Playboy bunnies make appearances. Like, everyone was coming to this place. But Paul was a terrible MC. He like hardly ever interacted with the guests. His jokes were like really cringy and awful. Like, no one laughed at them, which that sucks, dude, when no one laughed. Like,
I get that.
yeah, that's me. So obviously Steve wanted to replace Paul, which ticked Paul off. And so Paul was also dating Dorothy Stratner, who was at the time the hottest, like the main big Playboy bunny at the time. And so and that's kind of how like they really banked on Paul dating Dorothy to get like all this publicity and stuff like that. So
it was messed up.
Yeah, I mean, she helped them, like, hey, like, we'll make an appearance at your club tonight, and like it will bring in a lot of people. So they didn't necessarily need her, but having her definitely helped.
Right.
So Paul got dumped by Steve, and then he also got dumped by Dorothy because she left him for a film producer the same year. So Paul obviously spiraled. He wasn't doing good, and he ended up shooting Dorothy in the face and then shooting himself. Yeah. So super sad. Like, we're getting right into it. A while later, Steve met Nick Donahoy. Nick Donahoy. probably saying that wrong.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Screw it. Don Jonna. Nick Don Jonna. That's how it looks like it's spelled. I think it's
Then
Donahoy.
that's right.
Yeah,
That's
Nick
Donahoy
Donahoy
then.
from New York. Nick was a producer for many things. One of them was Unicorn Tales, which is a children's cartoon. Have
Oh,
you seen it? I
No.
watched it yesterday. It's something. It's remember the unicorns on YouTube
yeah.
that were like
Charlie and the
yeah.
yeah.
Kind of reminds me of that a little.
What are they called? Unicorn tails?
Yeah.
I'm going
Unicorn
to look them
Tales.
up tomorrow with Charlotte.
I like watched like half of an episode or like a quarter of an episode. I was like, I feel like I should be on drugs right now watching this. And that's when they started. So he met him. He was a producer and he's like, yeah, I'll help you out on this. So Nick started having them introduce themed shows into their routines, like Zorro, The Perfect Male, construction workers, that sort of thing, like a man in a suit type of thing. But Nick would make the strippers also eat and act a certain way, which you would think is awful, but they actually really appreciated it. They found Nick as like a father
Like a
figure or
mentor.
a mentor. They really looked up to him. They really, really liked him. He was strict, but in a good way, in a respectful way, I should say.
He meant good by it.
Yeah, yeah. And they knew that. They really liked him. But unfortunately, Steve and Nick constantly butt heads because they were not good partners. They butt heads because they were not good partners. So it wasn't good because Nick and Steve were about to launch a new expansion in New York, a new Chippendales in New York. And this one was supposed to be bigger and better. And Nick was supposed to be completely in charge of it. So that wasn't a good sign for them. Despite their rival, the club did open with a huge success. But the show got constant bookings on talk shows. Like they were all over the place. Literally everywhere, on billboards, on talk shows, on radio shows. You couldn't turn your head without seeing something about Chippendales. Nick was making all sorts of decisions without Steve, though, which obviously ticked Steve off because this was his baby. So Steve started to tighten the reins on Nick, which ticked Nick off. So one day they're in a cafe and Nick's like, listen, I want to be compensated properly for this. Like, I'm doing all this work. You're hardly giving me anything. Like, I don't have enough shares. I don't have enough decisions in this. Sucks to suck, huh, Rainbow? Sucks to suck. Don't stand up for her. And so he said, listen, if you're not going to pay me properly, can you at least let me take the show on the road as a tour and let me be completely in charge of it and and have all the rights to it? And Steve was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And they wrote this agreement out on a napkin in a cafe and they signed it.
That's smart. I mean, it's official. It's written out and
It's
there's
written
signed.
out. Yeah. So in the agreement though, it said I'm gonna picture this because I practiced it all day long practicing the stupid word and I know I'm gonna say it wrong. On the napkin in the agreement, it says, in perpetuity.
Perpetuity?
Hold on, I'm gonna look this up.
I don't know how to say that. Hara.
In perpetuity. In perpetuity.
I can't say that either. I'm sorry.
Perpetuity.
Perpetuity.
Perpetuity. In the agreement, it said on the napkin, it said in perpetuity.
Good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome,
Which
buddy.
after the meeting, after Nick left, Steve turned to one of his associates or one of his employees, and he's like, what does in perpetuity mean? And the guy looked at him and he's like, it means forever and ever. So ultimately,
You should have read the agreement, buddy, and studied it.
you should have, before just signing it, you should have like known what you're signing.
If you're in something that deep, you should take it to a lawyer and have them.
Yeah,
You
review
shouldn't
it
have put it on a freaking napkin.
and just signed it.
Yeah, like
Yeah. So that obviously ticked off Steve.
it's his dumb
and
fault for not knowing what.
but he was still banking on that this wasn't going to work. So obviously Nick was making a killing off of this tour. Because it was super successful and Nick was laughing all the way to the bank.
Of course.
Yeah, so every year they released a Chip and Dale's calendar, which was obviously a huge hit. It was super easy money for Steve. He just had to hire the people, hire someone to put the calendar together. Boom, money made. And like calendars are like $20 a piece. So
Right.
super easy money. But it was like the deadline for it. He goes down to the printing press and he asked the guy at the front, like, can I see the final thing before you guys print it? And the guy at the desk was like, well, I'm the only one here. No one else is here. Like, I don't know what to tell you. So Steve's like, well, I'm sure it's fine. Just go ahead and print it. So he prints it, or they print it, and he has it delivered. And it was messed up. Like things like the month of February, they had 31 days, which obviously February doesn't have 31 days.
What? There's not 31 days in February?
I hate to break it to you, but
30 days past September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31.
Yeah.
Except for February.
Yeah, May had 31
Forgot that part.
days instead of 30. One of
I
the
bet all the
months,
days of the week were so off because of this.
yeah. Well, and then so like one of the months it had like, you know how it says the picture on top and the dates
Yeah.
on the bottom? It was like
Yeah.
both pictures instead. And the next month was like both calendars. It was so messed up. So that put him back $700,000.
Jeez.
So he was mad. He was
course.
pissed.
I would
So and it was a huge trigger for him, obviously, because he's all Steve cares about is money.
Yeah, and it was easy money too. Should have
was
been something
easy.
super easy.
Yeah. But he had to take out his anger on someone, so he started taking it out on Nick because he hated Nick. He hated Nick. Steve was sorry. So later Steve was still salty about the calendars and this napkin deal. And so he was trying to recoup the money from the calendars. So he started to send men out on the road on his own, which according to their napkin deal, he wasn't supposed to do. He was not allowed to do that.
The napkin deal says no, Steve.
Yeah, sorry, you got to listen to the napkin next time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and so Nick found out about this, and so he took him to court. And he took him to court and sued him for it. And Nick actually ended up separating himself from Chippendales, but he was still collecting the money from the tour because it was forever and ever. He was allowed to collect the money. Oh, Steve lost the deal in court, obviously.
Okay.
Sorry about that. And so,
Of course he did.
yeah. So Nick separated himself, was still collecting money from the tour, but he also started his own exotic male dance tour.
His hands. Whoa. You just look like
I had hair, like a bunch of hair like caught in my nails firmly on. Ooh, I have fingers. So
Damon.
oh yeah, so he he started his own exotic dance tour and came out with his own calendar. He opened up an office in a building in New York and shared a space with a woman named Robin Boris. And they became really good friends, but she could hear the arguments that Nick would have with Steve on the phone. And she was like, I don't know how you can deal with this guy. This guy seems awful. One day, Nick was supposed to meet with an associate in get together for a meeting for a potential client, and that associate ended up getting super sick, and he's like, I gotta go home. And so she's like, well, I can sit in for you. She wasn't really part of the business, but Nick needed someone there as like extra ears to hear what was going on. So they decide that she can sit in, and his associate started to leave the building. This is on April 7th, 1987. He started to leave the building when he ran into this guy in the lobby, and the guy said, do you know where Nick DeMoy is? And his associate said, oh yeah, he's back there, go ahead, like go on. So the guy passes him. His associate starts leaving the building some more, and all of a sudden he hears gunshots. And so he runs to see what's going on, and he found Nick slumped over in his office chair, and Will, his associate, called 911. And so that was in the late 80s, early 90s, or not, it was in 1987, but in the late 80s, early 90s, the crime rate in New York was pretty high. So they're like, oh, it's probably just a robbery. But nothing was stolen, and the person would have had to climb 15 floors just to take nothing. So they're like, that's not what it was. During the investigation, they wondered who would want to hurt Nick. And according to the research the investigators did, he did dabble with the mafia for protection. So it seemed like the mob had a cut in what Nick was possibly making. So they're like, oh, it was probably just the mob. Like he probably owed them money or something like that. Right. But everyone kept pointing the fingers at Steve. They're like, look into Steve. It is Steve. Like there's no doubt about it, especially his friend. She's like they were constantly arguing. So the investigators looked, but nothing stuck. Steve then started to get full access and reins back to his entire business again after buying back the rights to the touring platform, because his business partner he hated is gone now. Makes sense, right?
Right.
So he started to really get sloppy about following rules and regulations when it came to his clubs. He felt invisible. He would allow way more than was allowed into his clubs. It was always overcrowded, but the more people in there, the more money he made.
Right.
He was making roughly $30,000 a night in his LA club. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And that's not today's money. That's in the early 80s.
Oh man, we chose the wrong career.
So unfortunately though, he was facing a lot of violations for overcrowding, obviously. That was just one of the violations, I should say. He also had a long sheet of why he was being sued. A ton of people were always suing him. One of them was because he didn't allow Black people in the club. This guy is just all over the place. Which he's not even white. Like,
Right?
he's from India. I mean, I guess you can be. I'm gonna take that out. That was stupid because you can
Just
be.
thinking that.
You can be. You can discriminate regardless of color.
Yeah,
Da, 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 da.
it's pretty messed up.
Yeah, dude. So something that he would do was after, like, they would have their own, like, the Chippendales they would have the Chippendales show, but then afterwards they would open it up to everyone because only women were allowed during the Chippendale show. And so after it was over, they would open it up to everyone. And so what they would do was he would have two separate lines, one for white, one for Black. So the Black people had to go in a separate line.
So he's segregated.
And he told
Wow.
and he told the doorman to not let the people in the Black line in. I know.
Wow.
And this was in the 80s.
Right?
So,
and where was this?
in LA. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So a young
Do you think that place is like LA's like really like diverse?
Well, it's funny you
Right?
say that.
That's the right word for that, right? Like
Yeah.
melting pot.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because a young Black student, Don Gibson, felt the same way. He was like, I can't believe this is happening in my own neighborhood. Don decided to test this theory out. He met up with two of his friends and he actually dressed nicer than them. They went to the club and he stood in the Black line and they stood in the white line because they were white. And they both got his two friends got stamps and were able to go inside. And when it was his turn, the guy said, well, no, the doorman said, no, you need a membership. And he said, well, where do I get a membership? And he didn't answer. And so his two friends came back out and he was like, well, my two friends got stamps. And the doorman said, well, they have memberships.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they were like, no, we don't. So they said, Don, is it Dale? Shoot, what was his name? Don said that the doorman's mouth just dropped and they're like, you'll be hearing some more from us. And they walked away. After that, Don decided to file a complaint. And of course, Chippendales denied the accusations. But the state was like, maybe we should look into this some more. So then Don received a call from an employee at a rental car agency. And the employee said that they found paperwork with Don's information on it. It ended up being a log of all of Don's movement. So a private investigator was hired. Don? Yeah, Don, the law student that filed the complaint.
Gotcha. Okay.
For segregation.
We're on the right. Yep.
Yeah.
Segregation. Yep.
So a private investigator was following him around, which this didn't come to surprise anyone that knew Steve, because they're like, yeah, when Steve runs into a problem and if someone's causing him that problem, he just likes to make people disappear.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
So Steve hired the private investigator to follow Don. Because Don was
yeah, he
causing trouble.
Yeah, he was causing problem. Yeah. So according to one of the only black male stripper for Chippendales called Don and told him Steve had plans to have a sex worker pick up Don and plant drugs on him, then blackmail Don into changing his story to clear Chippendales. And he told Don, dude, your life is in danger. So that didn't really seem to scare Don. I mean, obviously he was scared, but he's like, that's not going to stop me. So Don
Good for him.
Don still filed a class action lawsuit. But Chippendales ended up settling outside of court for $85,000 in damages and committing to hire more Black employees. You think that happened? No.
Of course it didn't.
Chippendales' behavior didn't change, and they were super awful at following regulations. Finally, the California Department of Alcohol Beverages Control finally revoked their liquor license for the LA club. They're like, if you're not going to listen to our simple regulations of how many people are allowed in your club at a time, you don't get to sell alcohol anymore.
Yeah, that's what
Period.
happens.
Yep. So in 1988, the LA club was shut down. He still had his California club though. Steve eventually started I'm sorry, this one just like I was watching the documentary to get this information, and I just hated it so much. Steve started a Chippendales musical.
I would see it.
Oh, I hated it.
I don't
so
like
much.
musicals, but I would go see that.
Could you imagine just like these men like trying to be like sexy, and they're like pointing their toes, jumping and doing like purees?
Tom, why can't I think of his last name? Spider-Man already did it under my umbrella. Remember he did the Rihanna thing?
Yeah, but this
He's younger than me, but you know, he's a very pretty man.
yes, but no. I hate it. I hate it so much because they're not like trying to be cute or anything. They're trying to be like, ooh, sexy.
The hills are alive with the sound of my genitals.
Muscles.
Penis. Sorry, you could cut that part out.
It would have been great if you didn't say penis.
Yep, it would have been. Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah, so he started that in London. He started a musical of Chippendales in London, and it was fully booked for 3 full weeks. So they're like, let's take it on the road throughout Europe. Which I hate that it was so successful.
I would still go see it. He's
I
a
probably
terrible
would.
person, but I probably would see if there was a Chippendales musical or a Magic Mike musical. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you can count me in.
All
It's
right.
an experience.
It is an experience. That's what it's called. An experience. It is an experience.
It might not be good, but
But
it's
an
probably
experience.
not going to be good, but it's going to be an experience.
And
there's always alcohol.
That's true. I just picture them like calico cats, whatever the cat. I can't think of the song right now.
I don't know the
Anyways.
song either. I don't like musicals.
Ugh, hate it. So
Took their tour to Europe.
oh yeah, here we are. Okay, so but with big business, you get copycats. So one of them was called the Adonis, which was put together by former Chippendale dancers. And in 1991, they booked a hotel to perform in Blackpool, London, which Blackpool, London is kind of like what is that one over on the East Coast, like Atlantis? Is it Atlantis? Not Atlantis.
Yeah, Atlantic City.
Atlantic City. It's like a lot like Atlantic City, very resorty, casinos. Yeah. And Reed Scott was about to take stage. He was like their MC, and he started his bit with when the production producer told him to get off the stage and come with him. He's like, what the heck? Like, I'm busy. But they're like, no, come with us right now. So he gets off the stage and he finds the entire set, like all the members of Adonis, like lined up, just like kind of like huddled together. And a set of detectives told him that they got a call from someone that was wanting to kill them with cyanide poisoning injections. So you would think that you would like cancel, but they're like, the show must go on. So they continue their tour. And some dancers would sleep with knives under their beds or pillows, keep the lights on, like put stuff in front of the doors type of thing to make sure that no one was breaking into their hotels at night. The tip that the FBI got from was an informant for the FBI. He was hired by someone to go to Blackpool with cyanide to kill 3 of the Adonis dancers. And that someone was Ray Collins. Ray was from the mob. Nick, remember? Nick was part of. So, how does Ray fit into this story, and why does he want to kill a bunch of people or male strippers? Well, he was also Steve's go-to guy. I mean, Ray was a one-stop shop. If Steve wanted cheap speakers or sound equipment, if he wanted a band, if he wanted anything, he would go
Ray
to
was the
Ray
guy
for.
to go to. Gotcha.
Including murder. So
including murder. Let's just add that to the
including murder.
Oh, you see here on my menu. Is that murder? Oh, I'd take that one.
Yeah. How much for the murder?
I'll take 2 of those.
Are you guys running a special? Okay. So on July 25th, 1991, the FBI agents raided Ray's house. They literally found a bag with hand-drawn skull with crossbones on it.
I wonder what this could be.
And it was full of cyanide.
Not the universal sign for poison.
It contained 40 milliliters of cyanide, which was enough to kill 230 people.
Holy mac.
So Ray was arrested. After about 7 months in jail, he finally agreed to work with the FBI and spill the tea. He told them all about Steve's plan for the Adonis group and even told them about Nick DeNoya's murder. He said that Steve Benergy, now I forgot how to pronounce his. He said Steve hired someone to kill Nick, his old partner. Ray didn't murder Nick, but he was the middleman, and Ray hired a man named Riviera Lopez to do the D, which Steve and Ray used for code for Nick's murder. They released so something that they don't really do is like to release murderers from jail, but they did. They released Ray from jail as to be an undercover informant. Ray had attempted to get a hold of Steve to confess the murders multiple times. One time was in an IHOP, and Steve was only writing his answers on a sticky note and like showing Ray his answers and then ripping them up and putting them in the toilet, because he was so paranoid that
the
FBI was listening.
I mean, it's kind of sketchy that he just got released from prison for murdering someone. So
yeah, and that was something that the FBI was like, okay, maybe he's like figuring this out. So the FBI flew Ray out to Europe to act as if he was a fugitive of the law and, running away from the FBI.
Right.
And to meet with Steve. And after several drinks, like Steve disguised himself and everything like that. And after several drinks and hours of talking, like literally hours and hours of talking, Steve finally started talking about the murders. He asked if the FBI knows about the D. And he also asked, do they know I gave you money for the gun? Which this was enough to arrest Steve. And with 8 charges against him, he was facing life in prison and was obviously denied bail. Because in that conversation, he talked to Ray about how he wanted to leave and go back to India, like flee the country and go back to India. So he was facing basically life in prison. But he did take a plea deal for murder, and he was going to serve 26 years in prison and give up his shares to Chippendales. And literally everyone wanted to see this guy go to prison. So they showed up to his sentencing hearing. They waited for a good while before someone finally showed up to tell them that there wasn't going to be a hearing that day. And it turns out he had committed suicide in his jail cell the night or the early morning. And Gilbert Lopez Riviera was sentenced to 25 years in prison, and Ray served 2 years.
Just the fact that he committed suicide, just
Yeah, I kind of just rolled right into
cowardly.
that. Yeah, very cowardly. And that also allowed his family to keep the rights to Chippendales. Because
Wait, there was a lot.
the agreement was that he would give it up, but he never was actually sentenced to jail, so he didn't have to give it up yet.
I see. Well, that makes sense. I mean,
yeah. Since Steve's death, though, it has been sold a few times to different owners, and it currently resides in Rio Hotel in Las Vegas and is considered the ultimate bachelorette party destination. And that is I know it was long, but very short story of the Chippendale. There is so much more. So many more murders, so many other sketchy deals that went on. And
I mean, money's problems.
Money causes so many problems. Yeah.
I
could probably do a whole series on this, but I was
just
like,
Chippendales murder.
Just Chippendales, sketchy business deals, and
that's crazy.
murders.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean,
they're a little sketch.
Yeah, but so anyways, do you have what is it called?
Neighborhood.
A neighborhood.
A dash of neighborhood drama.
I want to hear some drama.
I
just gave you a bunch of drama though.
You did give me a bunch of drama. I found it a really short one.
Good.
It says, so I come home from work and my wife says, the neighbor from the lower floor brought us your underwear.
What?
They were blown away by the wind and landed on her balcony. What an awkward situation.
That's so awkward.
And then she takes a final shot. How does the neighbor know that these are your underwear? And he says, I don't remember my answer, but since 15 years have now passed, we haven't divorced yet. I think I gave the right one. So that's it. Just a short little.
How do they know they were your underwear?
Maybe they've seen him go outside and check the mail in your underwear. I don't know. Guys are a lot more. It's more appropriate for guys to walk around in their underwear than it is for women. So
yeah, and I mean, maybe if they were above and the neighbor's like, Well, the person above me is they're lesbians, and the person above that is a single
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah. Clearly they're yours. Maybe just narrowed it down. I'm
Or-
gonna believe that the guy didn't cheat, so
Yeah, that's not something you would want to brag about if you were cheating.
Right?
So, oh geez,
it's pretty weird.
I don't know where our green sheet went. I think
Oh.
Leon's on top of it. Oh no, I did find
Okay.
it. He is on top of it.
Oh well,
Would you like to read it?
it's okay. You want to read them all?
Okay, well. All right. Family.
I can read
neighborhood.
the no, go ahead. You go ahead. Never mind.
Are you sure?
Yep.
You can just do what you do and I'll fill it in.
Okay.
Okay. All right, neighbors. We're going to sign off here. We're literally like on every single streaming platform
'em.
that I can think of. Can't
All of
find
'em.
us, Google it because we're there.
Yep.
We are there.
We're on Google.
We are on Google Podcasts. Absolutely. Follow us
On all social medias. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram are all at wwtn podcast. Or you can just search What's with the Neighbors, but WWTN podcast is a lot shorter. So
Yeah, and we have a Facebook group. I don't think we've ever talked about it.
oh yeah, we have a VIP Facebook group, guys, where we
Join it.
post daily information regarding the podcast. Tons of little fun little posts about paranormal, true crime, neighborhood stories, latest news information, and even you can even interact with us, guys. Like
Yeah,
who wouldn't
talk
want
to
to
us.
interact with us? Come on, like let's play a game.
Let's play a game.
Aw, that day.
Our website, what'swiththeneighbors.com. You can find like all of the information on there.
Yep. Where to listen to us, where to contact us.
And it has a link to our Patreon, which is patreon.com / what's with the neighbors.
Also on our website, sorry, I interrupted
You're
you.
fine.
Also on our website, you can find all the sources that we use for each of our episodes, except for like episode 1 through 3. So,
Yeah,
but that's okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh yeah.
Our Patreon, $5 a month gets you access to videos that we don't share with anyone else. Are unedited
And early access.
Oh yeah, and early access.
2
access
days.
and unedited video of our recording. And we want to do a ton of other stuff. So please, $5 a month. That's all you got to do. And
it also helps us a ton.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, we want better equipment and it goes straight back into the podcast. So
yeah, we want to take our podcast further. We want to be bigger.
Yeah, we want to be better.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. You do this.
Feel free to slide into our DMs if you want to send in any personal, paranormal, true crime, or neighborhood stories, or even just tell us how your day is. You can email us at wwtnpodcast@gmail.com. We're also looking for I saw that you had on the announcements. Also, we are asking for any kind of stories like that by next Thursday, which you guys won't know what that means. But this doesn't matter because this is coming out next week.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
Oh.
Yeah. Just take that part out.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That doesn't matter. Because we need them by next Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, well, forget that.
Sorry about that. We'll took that one out. And you already said our email, right?
Yep.
All right. And what's with the neighbors?
What is with the neighbors?
Why'd you look at me like that?
Because you said it wrong.
What's oh Oh,
Have you
I
checked
did
in
that
on your
last
neighbors?
week too.
No, you did it right last week. It was the week before. Have you checked in on your neighbors lately?
Have-
What's
have
with
you
the
checked in on
neighbors?
Have you checked in on the neighbors?
What's with the neighbors?
So
Bri and
dumb.
Amy. Oh,
Oh, high five.
yeah. There you go.
Bye.
Bye.
How do you hang up? Oh, there you go.
Leave.